Welcome everyone to another entry in the ongoing The Hand That Feeds HQ's review Advent Calendar 2021. And today I bring you an analysis of Shugo Nakamura's Oh No. This is a suggestion by Ken Narami, and I really hope you enjoy this analysis. So without further ado, let's start it. Funky from the start. That bass line is massive, that's my first impression. Really, massive bass line, impressive guitar work, that's funk going on those guitars. Those are funky guitar riffs. You have that punchy bass line that I really love, that has a really interesting bounce to the song. You have the brass going on in the background, trumpets, I dare say, and you have those simple drums, but they do the trick for you because you already have a really punchy and bouncy sound going on thanks to the bass line. I like the direction on the vocal end by Shugo Nakamura. He really is a good singer, a really underrated one, and I really love how he sings and how he actually tackles the songs that he writes or written for him. I really enjoy the way Shugo Nakamura actually tackles the way he sings or approaches the songs and adapts his singing technique to those. He is making sure that he sounds melodic at all times. He is adding a little bit of a wobble in his performance. It's almost like he has a vibrato going on, but it's not really vibrato. He's adding a little bit of a wobble. It's really interesting there. And is approaching the lyrics in a really interesting way. I'll cover that in a little bit. Yep. Ska. You have ska within this song. That's something that you may not be expecting, and that's a music genre that you may not even be familiar with. Ska is a mix of jazz with reggae. It has a little bit of funk in the mix, and it goes in this note. That was really interesting to add as an intermission because the song is mainly funk rock, and out of nowhere you have a ska section. Ska is not common to find within Seiyu music or even 2D music projects, so that was a really nice and interesting addition to the song. You really only have Fujin Rising in the Argonavis from Bang Dream franchise actually tackling ska music. Ska music is really like this funk, jazz, reggae, and a lot of piano work going on or organ work going on in the mix. It's not necessarily fast paced, but it's also not locked to a specific tempo or time signature. It's really, really interesting to add that to a song that was already pretty danceable and really fun to listen to. The chorus goes all out, which is something that I enjoy. And now we have the electric guitars not on a funky note, but on a slightly more aggressive way. And the drums match that intensity. And you have in the background the organ melodies that I talked about that are really closely connected to ska music. So you have that as well going on. It can also be a result of jazz influencing this song as well. Jazz also embraces a lot organ, and organ as an instrument works pretty well in replacement of a piano. Let's go. You have Shugo Nakamura, like I said before, is performing this song in a really interesting way. Not his usual technique, I should say, and that's because this was a digital single, so he could do something completely different, not being tied to a specific style or a specific genre or even a specific way to perform the song. You have him performing in falsetto, you have a couple of notes in vibrato, and he's mixing and matching and accentuating the parts that he wants to accentuate using those two techniques. It's really, really interesting and adds a little bit of dynamic to his performance that otherwise would sound a bit flat. You have the bridge. Ooh, that organ. Working this song. Let's go. The outro. Whoa. Nice drum fill in there to take us to the outro. I was not expecting that to go that much to the toms, and it sounds really, really good as an accent, especially as a contrast to the brass going on that is really on a higher note there. The guitar. He saved the best for last. I don't need anything else, I'm okay with this. Pretty much, he saved the best for last. That guitar solo is outstanding. Pretty funky song, really good vibes going on there. I believe it is an underrated song because, well, it isn't featured in anime, and usually people only check male seiyuu music if the songs are featured in anime, which is a pity because there's a lot of quality out there that goes unnoticed. Oh No is a good example of that. It's a beautiful song with an interesting composition. I like the addition of ska music or ska elements into this song. It's good that funk, ska, and in a way jazz got to coexist in this song and actually work pretty well. Of course, those are genres that work all within ska music to begin with, so it wasn't really that difficult to actually make those work. Still, it's rare to see ska music being embraced in music by 2D music projects or even seiyuu artists, so that's plenty of surprises there for you, at least if you are not familiar with that music genre. Then you have Shugo Nakamura performing this song. And as you may have already noticed, especially if you paid attention to this song, is that Shugo Nakamura is really talented as a singer. He can do basically anything on the vocal end, and he will match the quality of the song or actually surpass it. It doesn't have any problem to go high or low. It doesn't have any problem to add falsetto or vibrato. He actually likes to mix and match those two techniques. And he actually likes to add a lot of dynamic to his performances, so it doesn't sound flat at any time. That's really, really good from him. I really enjoy that whenever I have the pleasure to review his music or even listen to his music casually. There's that quality that I can expect always coming from him, because he's a really consistent singer, he's really technical, he really is confident in his performances, and the music that he composes or that he writes is usually pretty interesting. Even the songs that are composed or written for him are really, really good and match not only the vibe that he has, but also his singing skills and his I should say his technique that is always evolving and improving over time. So, with this, I wrap up my analysis of Shugo Nakamura's Oh No, one of the best songs he has released so far, actually a pretty underrated song that shouldn't be underrated because you've listened to it, the quality is there, and the song is pretty funny, really interesting, and something that you could add to your summer playlist or whenever you want to feel like you're in the summer. This was Shugo Nakamura's Oh No. I hope you guys enjoyed this analysis. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next entry.